last week you had all progressed down through into the Amber Temple. You had you'd come in through a side entrance. You'd done battle with some long dead doppelgangers of long dead adventurers. Found a couple of flame skulls on a corridor. Opted to go downstairs. All ended up at different points in the downstairs, where there was a wizard that turned into a statue, or did the statue turn into a wizard? But there's a statue, a 40-foot tall granite statue that appeared to have come from a wizard or be part of. There was a wizard and then there was a statue watching the lower chambers of the Amber Temple. You all managed to eventually identify a way into the statue, some easier than others, and have all entered this statue. Except you got there eventually. With some divine intervention going, it's here, the door, it's here. Yes. So you find yourself inside.
This is where we stopped, wasn't it? Entering the statue.
Yeah. So you are on a spiral. We're back to driving. So you are on a spiral staircase. The air is thick with a musty, ancient scent that only ages and dust and secrets can create. And for a moment, you've got this very odd sense of weightlessness. It's cold. The stone beneath your feet is smooth, almost like it's being worn by like centuries and centuries of footfall. And you stand on this staircase that seems to be both ascending and descending. As far as you can see, if you look up this staircase, they are steep and curved and cutting into the sort of bones of this statue. The walls are dark. There's glyphs etched onto the wall that sort of glow, and you can hear your breath echoing from all around you, almost echoing back like it's reflected off the stone. Roll a perception check. None of you are aware of each other.
Can I ask you, is this a spiral staircase? And does it run in a clockwise or anti-clockwise direction?
It's running anti-clockwise, looking at that picture.
So it's running that way?
It would appear so, looking at that random picture. Yes, 4-foot staircase.
Yeah.
Castle lore that I'm...
Because in castles they always put them in clockwise directions so that the defenders have their sword hand ready. Assuming most people are right-handed.
Because most people are right-handed.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's the same reason why this is
So I'm being prepared for defenders here.
Okay.
It's like a lobe, and across the side,
Captain.
you go left side, because most people... No, sorry, right side, because most people have a shield. Mine's 33 with the
Okay.
16. Oh, no, perception, wasn't it?
But yeah, the shield armor's
You, with that very high perception, so
15, sorry.
okay, so with a 30-something stupid and a 20-something, what did you get, Malachi?
23.
So that end of the table,
Yep.
the 20s and 30s, you are really sure, above a 20, the wisdom classes are sure that you are being watched. Even with a 30, you don't know where you're being watched from. It seems to be omnipresent. You seem to be surrounded by this sensation. It's not that you can, like some kind of Ravenloftian security camera that you can spot with the 33, but there's a very definite sensation of being observed and of being watched. With a 12 and a 15, it's a very dark, dingy, smooth, slightly claustrophobic staircase.
I guess running in an anti-clockwise direction.
Are we like in the middle of the staircase? Are we at the base?
Can
Up
I
and down.
actually see if I can control enough for the hit?
Yes.
I can.
Hello?
You just hear this sort of. You hear an echo, hello, but it's not a big open hall echo. It's almost it's a deadened sound. It just seems to be that almost as if the walls are calling back at you rather than a echo in a cave.
Can I make a religion check to try to see if there's like a significance about the staircase?
Yes, you can. You can.
Oh, it's
Stairway
more like
to the sky.
or like and that's enough.
You think there is very definitely a significance to going up the staircase, but you are unable to determine what it is. But you're very sure that going up is significant, but you're unclear why.
I would like to.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just being an idiot. I'm going to play my bagpipes as I go up the stairs.
Okay.
I just want to announce my presence to anything that's there.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll this. I've rolled 17 on Arcana check. Is this an illusion?
On Arcana check, 17. Is what an illusion?
The staircase.
No. Staircase made of stone.
When he heads down.
Okay.
We're going to base.
We're going to start.
Oh,
We're going to start with. We'll start with because he rolled. Because I rolled 4. We'll start with Malachi.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ascending or descending?
Ascending.
Okay. So as you ascend this staircase, you can feel the air getting colder and colder and colder with every step you take up this staircase. And as you look up, it seems almost to stretch and telescope into infinity going up. If you turn and look down where you came, it's no longer twisting. You can just see it falling away. So it's almost like you're in a sort of cone like this. You see it going up to an infinite point above you, and there's nothing, just tailing away, going down below. Roll a wisdom save.
All of us?
No, just Malachi. With a 22, you feel this fleeting, but it's very fleeting, thought of what's George up to? And then it's gone. Just fleeting sort of
I think someone's
thought.
trying to get information.
Zephyr, wait, what are you doing? Again, as you start to go down, the stairs seem to extend. So there's further and further between each step on these stairs as you go down, and you can feel the ground pulsing beneath your feet as you step onto each step, and you can roll perception, nature, insight. Perception. The further down you go, the less like stone these steps feel. It almost feels like you're walking on something alive. And okay.
Walking on George.
There's this again, this odd something. It's on the the edge of your mind, it's important. You can't place it, and the further you go down, the less connected you feel to the present. You can't quite recall how you got here or why you're in here. There's something. There's a reason for being here, but you're no longer quite sure what it is. Roll a wisdom save, which is fine now.
Oh god, this is probably a fail. A 10 on my wisdom.
You 10 on your wisdom save.
Alright,
There you
then,
go. You don't have any recollection of how you really got here. The last thing you remember is going down a spiral staircase of leaving the top of the monastery and of descending from the mountain and going down a spiral staircase underneath the monastery and going through a portcullis gate, and there being some pretty nasty rats and things, and you walking through this sort of misty gate that opened on the side of a spiral staircase underneath the monastery. That's what you remember as coming into this space. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, Barovia doesn't exist. That's
Gotta find a mate.
okay. Quinny, where are you headed?
Down.
Okay. As your hooves clop against the stone, you feel profoundly claustrophobic. That this dark is this feels alive. It feels almost suffocating. It feels wild. It feels almost like it's the air itself is made of earth or moss. It's heavy. It feels like being almost like being swallowed into the earth. You can see these sort of shadows on the periphery of your vision. Perception, probably. Perception.
17.
You start to see creatures. You can see there's a octopus, and you can see a octopus. You can see a giant eagle.
So many new forms for my wild shapes.
Many of which you may have used. You are. You can see. You can see wolves. You can see what appears to be, as you round a corner, the maw of a giant toad, just sort of opening its jaw into. But when you turn to look at it, it's just a stone wall. Wisdom save.
24.
You feel a really powerful yet fleeting, almost like you're about to wild shape,
And with 1 foot.
but you don't. But it's an unnatural feeling. It's something that's sort of spontaneously, I am about to become something, and I have no idea what something is, but that you also have no control over that. As you travel down, Antoinette, where are you going?
I'm going to hitch my skis on.
Nice.
Slide
Of
down
course
the
you are.
stairs.
Indoor skills.
Like heaven and home alone with the toboggan, except the skills.
Okay.
Going down as quickly as possible.
As you step onto this spiral staircase with your skis, and you're looking at skis, you ski for maybe 5 or 6 seconds, and then you career into a chamber. There's nobody. there's nobody else there either. And the air feels oppressive. The reason it's still on slope. The skis aren't moving, almost because you don't roll insight, or I guess it'll be insight into why do my skis not work. We'll go with insight. Ski check. Yeah. Pardon?
17.
17 on why my skis won't work. It's slopey. The floor seems the same. There isn't a carpet here that's blocking you. It's like the very air itself is too thick to ski through. So you don't notice that in terms of breathing. That doesn't bother you at all. But it stops your forward movement into this room. You're almost sort of stuck trying to get through the air itself. Yeah, you can do it. You can move through the space, but it's hard work. It's almost like pulling yourself through something really viscous, like more viscous than water. Yeah, honey or something sticky and marshy. You can see flickering in the walls themselves. Just this flickering. Roll a wisdom save.
Oh, that's 20. 25.
Okay, you have again this moment of fear, and then no, this is just walls. This must be the light, or this must be something magical. There's no fire in here.
Those are lovely, pretty lights.
They are lovely, pretty lights.
I'm glad there's pretty light. This is too dark.
Ethelwyn, where are you going?
First, I'm going to check whether the door that I came in is still there.
No, it's not. You don't need any kind of check for that.
Well, that's freaking me out.
Okay, there is no door.
So
There is a staircase. There is no door.
Yeah.
What was that? There is no need for canopy.
No, it's the Matrix.
Yes. Yeah, there is no door.
I'm going up the stairs.
Okay. As
Cautiously.
you go up the stairs are creaking. So the stairs are making the sound that a really annoying for a thief wooden staircase would make,
Obviously stuck.
but obviously stone and not an illusion. But they are creaking. But they are creaking in a way that would piss off an ardent thief, and you can't see where to stab to stop the floorboards creaking because there aren't any floorboards. Pardon? What's that?
Is it our worst fears? Creaky floor.
Creaky floor.
The cold?
Evan.
Well, after a while, I'm going to not sneak because I have figure what's the point
Okay.
and start jogging up.
You get this sense and smell of decay. It's also cold and getting colder. You get this faint smell of decay with this sort of stone. You can't smell any wood. It's just decay. Something rotten. Something inherently unpleasant. Roll wisdom save. And a perception check. But do the wisdom save first.
That would be a 7.
Okay. You are
I'm not very wise.
you are pretty sure that this staircase. You remember this staircase. This isn't, from the Faded Cherry. This isn't that kind of a staircase. You remember you've been on this staircase before when you were very, very young. And you are absolutely sure that you have been here before, and that up this staircase is probably your bedroom. And a perception check.
Perception check. 12.
Okay. The staircase just goes round the corner and disappears up round the next bend. Malachi.
I would like to cast Single.
Okay.
So I can see in both directions.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
So is that right to pick up everything?
No? How long's it active for? Okay. Remind
But
me.
actually still one,
Yes. You don't see anything where you are. You are you carrying on up at the moment? You're going to try and go down? It would appear that there is no descending staircase. There is no obvious descending
And
staircase.
what's below me?
Well, the staircase that you definitely just walked up appears to just disappear into this point of light. It would appear there's nothing below you.
So
It's like you're standing on the bottom step of a staircase above a void.
I'm going
Go for
I
it.
love that that's your second plan to see invisibility.
I'm gonna pray for a good minute. Say a bunch of prayers,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna step.
Nice.
Okay. Go for it. Pray for a minute. Step into the void. Wisdom save. You aren't pulled by them, but you are aware of voices from above you, just before you step into the void, so you can make a job, and below you, that and it's like being pulled in half. So you want to do both. So after you've prayed for a minute, you want to do both. It's like you're being pulled in two different directions. You've got, there are voices telling you that it's a mistake and that you have made an error, and that you've misunderstood the Morning Lord, that you were deceived, by a powerful creature from another plane, and that this was deceit, and that if you return there, they can help you back onto the true path, and that you've strayed, but it was not your fault. And you've got another set of voices telling you exactly the opposite. So you've got another set of voices telling you that you must absolutely leave the ways behind, that you need to walk towards the light, towards redemption. You need to make sacrifices and make decisions, but those voices are all around you in both directions.
So not one. So
No. It's coming from the walls around you, and inside. It's like when Zephyr talks inside your head.
Yeah.
You're just aware. Now you do not have to listen to any of them because you passed your wisdom save, but you're aware that they're there. Okay. You take a step into the void. Zephyr. You are descending underneath the monastery, the Zen monastery, and as you reach the bottom of this staircase, it opens up into this enormous space, into this enormous room.
Was the
Yes.
last thing we ate some sort of hallucinogenic?
None of you have eaten anything in this place. I don't think you've had any hallucinogenic things. You reach this room. It seems infinitely vast. It's huge, like an open space full of shimmering light and shadow, filled with strange symbols that you don't immediately recognize, and the whole place is like shifting and humming and pulsing, and everything seems fractured and chaotic, and you're getting visions, talking to your father, talking to monks in the monastery, studying books, the bits about being in the caves underneath Bloodspur, about fighting an illithid, about bones on the floor and strange creatures, just one after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. Just everything in this room is fragmented and broken, and it's like your entire past, which is long, including chunks of it that you just don't remember at all and make no sense. So everything after the monastery is new information, just coming in just fractured sort of photographs, sort of just assaulting your consciousness and wisdom save. Okay, you see on the nearest platform an entire, like a battlefield, filled with people coming to assault the monastery. You're 100% sure they are definitely going to attack this sacred place. The faces are flickering in and out of focus. You can't fix on them very easy, and they're twisting. And then you start to see people appear on the platforms ahead of you. And you see yourself on the other side of these enemies, looking. There's 4 of them, looking back at you. One is sitting cross-legged, sort of meditating, hovering above the ground. One looks twisted and angry, and they are just staring at you across this huge expanse. Quinny.
Yeah.
Were you heading down?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is it still staircase?
Yes. You continue on the staircase. There is a door in front of you. A carved ancient oak door, decaying, vines around it, like living sort of tendrils. This sort of oak door covered in vines, standing in the middle of this staircase. As you touch the door, the air fills. You can feel it before you hear it. And there's this huge peal of thunder that echoes through this staircase, and this low growl sort of emanates, and the door shudders and opens. You find yourself when it gets round to it. So it's being very, you know, when you're just like activate. There you go. You find yourself here on the staircase. It's very faint, but is much darker than you remember. The trees are twisted and unnatural. There's faces looking out of the bark of these trees, just sort of gnarled faces, and you feel a real sense of familiarity here, like you have been here, that part of you dwells here. Wisdom check. Wisdom save. Wisdom save.
18.
With an 18, you start to hear your own voice coming back at you. But the voice that you hear is spoken through the creatures that you have transformed into.
Yeah.
So there is you talking to you as a giant eagle. So, but it sounds like you. There's a roctopus. Who knows what a roctopus sounds like? But it sounds like you. There's a toad that sounds like you. You can't see any of those creatures, but they're all talking to you. So sort of Quinny in animal form talking to Quinny. All the creatures that you've turned into, you can hear all the badgers that you have ever summoned. There's the ones that drowned in the tree on Yester Hill, and the ones that have fallen off the cliff with the snow. All the badgers you've ever summoned are chittering and chattering here, and asking for help. And they want you to stay, and they want you to stay, and they want you to help, and you feel compelled to do so. With an 18.
Cool. I'll stay and do my best to help now.
Pick a beast world shape. With an 18 you can choose it, but it can only be a beast. Or an elemental. Okay.
It's a fancy.
A panther. You suddenly become a panther, a moonbounder. Well, the words escaped me. Moorbounder. I like moonbounder better. But anyway, you become a moorbounder. You have no control over that. It just happens. It doesn't feel like any transformation that you've ever had before. Normally you have control over when you choose to go into wild shape, and there's just nothing. There's no control here. I think I might even have. Let's make them more bad. Okay, I think you have, yeah. Yeah, I think I might. Let's see if I've got one. I have, yes. I have got one. There we go. What's it? There you go. So there you are as a moorbounder. Roll insight.
17.
Okay. As you're moving around this space, listening to all the other creatures talking to you, you realise that you do not have the same control mentally in this shape that you would normally have. And you would recognise that this feels more akin to polymorph than it does to wild shape. So you also have the moorbounder's mental stats.
Believe it or not, it's more intelligent.
There we go. I can see that.
Oh no, sorry. Oh no, it is, yes.
There you go. That might be handy then. That might be handy. Antoinette. You have. Let's pull up the room that you're in. There's your room. Antoinette's room is here. So you have skied into this room, and there's a deep sense of dread in this room. You can roll history or insight or perception. Any of the.
Perception.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
17.
Okay. Two things. You recognise this place. This is where you were born. This is Blinsky's workshop. And you recognise it, and you recognise one of the reasons that you're so afraid of fire is both because you made of wood, which is obvious, but because the toys that Blinsky didn't make to sell, the ones that didn't work, went in that fire. That's just sprung into life at the end of Blinsky's workshop. So Blinsky's, and you can see that the fire, the wood in this fire, is the sort of limbs and bits of rocking horse, skeleton rocking horse, and bits of puppets that didn't quite work out the way he wanted them to, are the wood that is currently burning in that fireplace.
Do you guys ever remember the kids show called the Raggy Dolls?
Yeah, it's very Raggy Doll,
Yeah.
but with a crematorium.
The dolls from the reject bin.
There was no crematorium in the Raggy Dolls. It's Ravenloft Raggy Dolls.
Yeah.
I remember Raggy Dolls, dolls like you and me.
Yeah.
Raggy
Do I
Dolls,
feel
Raggy
drawn
Dolls.
towards the fire?
Fun?
Do I feel drawn towards the fire, or can I get the hell out of it?
You don't feel drawn towards the
Are there any dolls in the workshop?
fire. Not that you can obviously see. You can see woodworking tools and chisels. You can see lots of alchemical sort of things. This looks like where Blinsky was trying to imbue life into his wood creations.
I'm gonna see if there's a stool or something.
There's a stool, and you can clamber up onto the stool. As you clamber up onto the stool, you notice that there's runes as you start to move into the space. Runes appear all the way along all the workbenches on either side, going out towards that fire, and then across the floor. And you can see this sort of lattice, sort of arcane script appearing. Nice. So the notes are so there are notes from Blinsky, and the notes are largely insane and talking about power and how he's done a deal, and that this should work, and it's not fair that this hasn't worked. And what must he do in order for this to work?
Silly Blinsky, it worked.
And as you start to go through his notes, you feel the heat in this room rising. And all across where this lattice of runes are starts to catch fire.
Oh God. I'll climb up onto the desk.
And they start creeping along the desk. So all of the surfaces, the edge of the room, the floor, just crossed with a lattice like a grid, matrix style, of rooms. And as you trigger the whole of that line, just catches fire.
I'll kind of cower on the desk and I'll say, Malachi's always saying I should have faith, and I have faith in my father Blinsky that he'll come and help me and not throw me in the fire.
As you say that, you see Blinsky in the fire, and just standing in front of the fire. And as you say that, the fire gets hotter and larger. Roll 4d6.
God. Oh god. That's 16.
And you take 16 damage. Acid wave.
Yes.
The room's on fire.
Oh,
And Blinsky's there. She summoned Blinsky.
Yablonsky is terrible.
Blinsky.
Trying to infect us.
Error. Ezedway,
Yes.
you are on this staircase. You actually, are you continuing to move in this space?
Towards the
As you
corridor.
as you move through this space, you hear a click. Roll dexterity dexterity save or acrobatics, whichever would be higher for you. Sorry.
29.
Um,
That's a dexterity one.
Okay. With a 29, you manage to dodge out of the way of this huge stone block that falls exactly where you were standing. And you can roll 5d10.
This isn't damage.
So you can halve that, but I think you've also got evasion, so you've got so you can evade it. As this, so it would be half that anyway on the saving throw, but I think you've got evasion, which takes it out, so you don't take any damage. You bowl backwards down this staircase. The hem of your robe gets temporarily trapped beneath it. You rip the bottom of your cloak as this huge stone block lands on this pressure plate that you missed on the previous check, and then just disappears through the staircase, and is gone. And in its place is a door. So, yeah, this goes a stone door, huge stone door, covered in carvings and runes, radiating some odd kind of energy, pulsing. It looks like it's lit compared to the rest of the stairway that you're standing in.
And is there some sort of handle open?
Not an obvious one. It is definitely a door. It's door shaped.
Can I just go up and
You can. As you push on the door, you get thrown backwards onto the back of the stairs behind you, and the door doesn't move, but the runes on the door pulse.
How would I check the traps? Oh no, it sounds like it looks down
You
the-
can roll investigation or in.
Investigation 24.
Okay, you think this door is locked. You don't think it's locked with a lock you can pick. On the door is carved what appears to be a man holding a book, sort of deep in study. There is a symbol of somebody with a shield and a sword, and there is a carving of a woman with her fingers over her lips, and with that's an investigate. You recognise this as a puzzle, and you think that you need to work out what order they should go in order to open the door. Oh, sorry, you want to pen?
Oh, yeah,
I've got
give
pen.
you.
Yep.
Thank you
There you
very
go.
much.
So there is. These appear to be runes of some sort.
Yep.
There is a man holding a book. There is a fighter or a warrior holding a sword and a shield. And there is a woman with her finger over her lips. You can roll history, investigation, or arcana to see if you actually know what the symbols mean in terms of where you might get to the question.
That's a crit on any of them, really.
On any of them.
But I'll go
Yeah, which would you-
investigation.
Okay,
because-
on investigation. So some of these you've seen before. So the woman with her finger over her lips, you have seen outside of in Mid County where you grew up,
Yep.
the Faded Cherry. You would see the finger on the lips outside some of the thievery guild houses, sort of carved into doorposts, and it's the symbol of secrecy. It's about hidden truths and the power of keeping quiet and keeping silent, keeping things concealed, withholding information. So you know that for sure. You have seen that, and you know what that one is. With a crit, you would think that the warrior is likely to represent action or courage or something of that ilk, and the man would represent some kind of learning or wisdom.
And is there a way that I can physically arrange the runes?
Not that you can see, but when you tried to push open this door, they lit up. So you would anticipate that this is about getting them in the right order.
But do I have a
That
way
there
of
is-
moving them around?
Not that you can see, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Based on logic,
You can go for your life. What would you like to do?
I'm going to leave the man with the book first.
Okay.
I'm going to move the woman with the finger to her lips to second,
Mm-hmm.
with the sword and the shield last.
Dexterity saving throw.
It's a 14.
You take 8 force damage. This is not evadable because as you press these runes, they light up as you press them, one after the other, and then the entire corridor of this sort of staircase appears to pull round you and then release, doing 9 force damage in the process. The door doesn't open.
No.
Have a think about it.
I will.
Malachi. You jumping?
I am.
Okay. As you jump, you don't fall. As you jump towards the void, you just step as if stepping into a corridor. So it's a very odd sensation because you leap as if you're about to leap into this giant pit, and it's like going off a curb that was a bit more deep than you thought it was. So you sort of take this ridiculously large step off a very small ledge, and you're standing in front of a dark, jagged stone doorway with a light cast from underneath it. It feels sacred. It feels divine.
Sorry, what's the room again?
There's it's just black, but it's solid. You can't see a floor, but there seems to be a light that's cast on one. There's no walls that you can see. It's almost infinite, but there's a doorway standing in it. This sort of strange sort of liminal space.
So I would like to say to please grant me less strength against these monsters.
Now we'll cast So, find energy against destroying enemies magic 30 feet from you until the spell ends. This may be used on you. For duration, each friendly creature in the area including you has ability to spell. So, if we are just like right next to each other, but like these illusions are making us think we're in separate worlds, then you guys will be. But if we're not, it's just giving me the illusions if it's this is going to help me with my saving throws.
Okay.
I do against spells. And I'm mostly doing it to hope that it triggers you.
Okay.
Cool.
Roll. Go on, carry on. Sorry, carry on.
I'm casting that and then I'm going to strike.
Okay, as you try to walk through the doorway, you are roll insight.
Uh, 22.
Okay. You know that in order to open this door, you need to call upon the divine. So you need to use divine magic, or divine intervention. You need to demonstrate allegiance to the God of Light. This is about ignoring the pull of the voices of deceit and darkness. Is trying to get into this sacred place. You understand that.
I'll say
Okay.
as like a gesture of faith.
Okay. As you do that, this door creaks open. Okay. You enter this small, but at the same time cathedral-like, but small, like a cathedral in a cupboard. It's a very odd, claustrophobic yet immense feeling where you could actually reach up and touch the ceiling, but it appears to be the full nave of a massive cathedral, but you can touch all the elements of it in this tiny space. And the walls are adorned with symbols of light, of twilight, symbols of the morning lord, symbols of the dark. You would recognise them religiously. There's symbols of devils, of infernal and abyssal nature all around this space. And it is oppressive. And in the centre of this room, standing where the altar should be, leaning against a wall, which is both touchable and massively far away, is this mirror that is just cracked through, standing against a wall. And you can see yourself reflected, broken in this cracked mirror, looking back at you from the other side of the room. Zephyr.
Okay, I wish to look around, understand, take a couple steps forward and say, it appears I was not up to a gym at this stage. I'm sure my son
You go meditate, okay? Okay.
thinking that I have just reached the afterlife.
Okay, nice.
My ancestors, they must be.
Wisdom save.
Yeah, quite actually, let me.
Okay. As you sit there and start to try to meditate or sleep in the afterlife, these forms start to move towards you, and they are hostile in its broadest sense. They are critical. They have the voice of your father. They have the voice of the other monks from the monastery. They have people that you respected, the people that you trained, saying that you were useless, that you would never amount to anything, that you couldn't possibly ever get into Barovia and come away with anything useful, that there's no point in you going there. You start to feel your attachment to your astral self ebbing away. Roll a d8. Guess you have to take away 6 keys.
Ooh. 6 what?
By the way, like Zephyrs.
By the way, yes.
Zephyrs like thinking of what's happening here.
Yep.
These are what he could have been if he didn't follow the route path. And the key ebbing away is just him dying.
That's very brutal, but pretty much.
Like it's just a this is
My time's come.
If I wasn't balanced, if I wasn't reserved, this is what I could turn into. I'm glad I am the way I am.
Roll insight.
Maybe I'm saying no, you're wrong.
No. Quite the opposite.
27.
Quite the opposite. You're absolutely right. But slightly more specific. So there's different forms of you. Absolutely. So there's that red one right at the back over there. That's a chaotic. This is what would have happened to Zephyr if Zephyr had been purely chaotic. Is going to destabilize things that would make the environment dangerous and uneven, and try and just shift the balance of everything else. The blue one at the back is completely defensive and calm. If you try and completely defensive and calm and ready to stun your ass if you go near him, but defensive and calm. The purple guy at the front is calm and peaceful, and you think may offer guidance and wisdom. It's the Zephyr you'd most like to become, if the other Zephyrs didn't get in the way. It's the Zephyr you're trying. It's the Zephyr you're trying to be while you're sitting there on the edge. And the other one is the other one who's the one who's just stolen half of your key. It's a guilty. It's almost a sneaky Zephyr where it's not fair. We're going to do stuff that's sneaky, that's dangerous, that gets my own way without really being clear about how I'm going to attack and planning it in a wise manner. You think, as you're sitting there, you can see on the other side of this immense space that they're forming what appears to be a door or a portal or an exit on the other side of this space. The space behind you has vanished. You're just sitting on an outcropping of rock on the edge of space. Okay. Quinny. So,
I was in
yes.
mistaken. Intelligence is not right.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, so there's a moorbounder in a twisted forest. There's a moorbounder in a shifted forest. As you sort of sniff and walk intelligently through this space, looking for a tree to do a wee against, or whatever it is that moorbounders do when they're out and about in the forest, marking your new territory, rubbing your head against a stick, whatever moorbounders do in the wild. The forest seems to give way into an area that's sort of a stone circle, surrounded by these pulsing sigils, and in the center of this circle is a druid that you recognise as the druid who was underneath the tree that you attacked with the badgers in Yesterhill. I do believe there was some druids there, and there was a druid before that in the Wizard of Wines
That's the whole
Yes.
right?
that we may have.
I blame Malcolm.
I know you do.
What did you do to the druid?
There were some evil druids, and there was a druid that they just happened to be in a place. They tortured him. That requires binding him for 10 minutes to extract CSF until his brain dies, and then injecting it into another creature who wished to benefit from the potential intelligence, wisdom that the druid's brain gave him. It was
one more intelligence.
yeah. You've now got two whole intelligence points. That druid that was under the tree in Yesterhill was the brother of the druid whose brain you sucked out at the Wizard of Wines, who wasn't really doing anything wrong. Anyway, the druid stands there, and the forest seems to come alive as they stand in this stone circle. There's a black wolf steps out of the shadows and stands on one side of this druid, its eyes shifting, and the druid speaks and says, "This is a spirit of the wild. You recognise the wild within yourself. Maybe you need to prove that you have mastery over the wild within you, and that you can control the impulses of your kind, and retain your humanity, which is tricky with an intelligence of 2 as a all-rounder. But hey, there's the wolf steps back into the shadow, and in its place appears this grotesque beast. It's got the body of a sort of a dire wolf with the wings of a giant eagle, and the face of a giant toad, and the legs of a roctopus. It's a quiniquimera. Yes, it's a quimera. It's a quimera. This quimera stands there, this sort of massive representation of every creature you have morphed into and done damage with, and utilised their skills to harm or injure other creatures. You can roll insight, or roll insight.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have my skill in volleyball.
You can roll insight as twinning.
That's a natural one with us. So
That's about right
10,
then.
but a natural one.
Okay. You are not 100% sure what you're supposed to be doing with this thing, but this thing is standing between you and what appears to be an exit from this grove on the other side of the stone circle. So I will let you think about what you wish to do with that, Antoinette. The room is on fire. Sorry, Queenie. Carry on.
Oh, I don't even think about what Queenie's supposed to do.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yes, no, go for it.
Oh, Queenie lunges at this.
Okay, so you can roll for initiative. Antoinette, you're in a room full of fire.
Yes. Do I need to make my frightened check that I usually have to?
Yes, you can make a frighten check, and you can make an arcana check, but you can do frighten first. Okay, roll arcana. Okay, you are currently frightened. You're in a room full of fire. Blinsky is in a room full of fire, and the doll crematorium is lit, and you are in a room full of fire. So Blinsky speaks to you and says, "You know fun. You know Blinsky. You my creation, Antoinette. You made from wood and dark magic. And I was shaped by the power of the Ember Temple. You fear fire. Ugh. And you are drawn to the darkness, Antoinette. You know fun. You know Blinsky. Embrace the fire, Antoinette, and become part of the eternal flame. I will help you, Antoinette. I am fun. I am Blinsky. Fire is fun, Antoinette. Fire is fun."
Fire is not fun. I'm fun. I'm Antoinette, and I'm going to use prestidigitation to summon a bunch of flowers in my hands. I'm going to throw them at the fire at Blinsky, and I'll say, "I am fun. I'm Antoinette. My parent is Blinsky, not anything evil, and I don't need to go towards the light."
Okay. So you're fueling the fire with flowers. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Roll.
Like clown flowers.
As you throw the flowers at Blinsky, the flowers just turn to ash as they go through the flame. Roll wisdom save.
17.
With a 17, you think that you need to kill Blinsky.
Fair enough. I'm gonna cast Shape Water.
On pun?
Shape Water.
Yep.
I'm going to take out the last of my holy water,
Yep.
shape water, and I'll say, "You're no fun, you're no Blinsky," and then I'll throw it at the fire.
Okay.
Can you do shape kerosene as well?
shape kerosene.
Can you shape what?
Let's just the end of that one.
There's too many nonsense things with shape. It's something bad.
As you
Yeah.
shape water and throw water in this space, the fire dissipates. And Blinsky smiles at you. Goes, "You are fun. You are Antoinette. I'm Blinsky." And he points. And he goes, "Just through there." Through the crematorium.
Is it still on fire? Or is
Yeah, the rest of the room's out. But the crematorium's still lit.
And is Blinsky made out of fire, or is it just normal Blinsky?
It looks like normal Blinsky. He's
Okay.
now wet Blinsky.
I would like to run over to Blinsky and hug him.
Okay. As you give Blinsky, you roll perception.
19.
You, with a 19, you don't think that this Blinsky hugs quite the same as the other Blinsky. But it's definitely not an illusionary Blinsky, like his arms don't go through you. It's just not quite right. But he's going, "You are fun, Antoinette. You fun. You Blinsky.
What happens in the fire?
You get out, Antoinette. You get out. Just through the fire.
Where is out?
Out of here. You live your own life, Antoinette. You have fun, Antoinette. Out of the fire. Just through there, Antoinette. Just through there. Etherdwing, you're standing at your door. If you want to, roll any intelligence-based check to see if you can learn what you might have got wrong.
I'm gonna do a history check.
Okay. Okay. You remember some batshit crazy thing that Gledwin used to say, which to a 7-year-old boy growing up in a brothel who was only interested in stealing shit and looking through keyholes, made no sense at all. But Gledwin used to say that you should think before acting and act after thinking, and not to tell anyone what shouldn't be told. Keep your mouth shut, boy.
Think before acting, act before thinking.
Think before acting and act after thinking, and shut your mouth, boy, and don't tell what you've seen.
That's the next question.
In which case, the runes would remain in the order that we found them. Man with the book,
Man with the books,
sword and shield,
sword and the shield,
finger lips.
finger to the lips. It's that simple. You just touch them in the order that we wanted. Gledwin was a woman of simple prophecy. She wouldn't have mixed it up. It's very rigid. The door opens.
Here I was
And were you there going, oh, she's trying to be so clever, but no, Gledwin. She only had one combination. That's the combination on the door.
Considering that was number 6 out of 6 possibilities.
You'd have been pretty damaged.
I would have,
You'd have been squashed
Yes, alright.
in the hug of Gledwin.
But I did intend to always use an ability to see quickly. It's alright.
No worries. As you enter through this door, the door opens. You enter this room, which is entirely entirely made of mirrors. It's completely featureless other than mirrors. All walls. It's just this.
Even the door at the end of the hall.
It doesn't appear when you get there. It's just a mirror. The door behind you has vanished, and as you turn around, the door that was in front of you is no longer there.
When I look in the mirror, and I look in different, like if I look at different mirrors, do I see exactly myself, or do I see different things in different mirrors of myself?
Oh, you see yourself. Roll perception. Okay. It's you on the other side of the mirror, but not quite you.
Does it respond like if I raise my left hand, the mirror, the
It-
reflection
it-
raises its left hand?
It's a mirror.
Yeah.
It responds like a mirror.
Okay.
But the eyes of the Ethidwe in the mirror are just a little bit hard and a little bit calculating and just a little bit mean. They're just... The Ethidwe in the mirror looks like Ethidwe, but just a little bit more ruthless and a little bit more unkind.
And so, walking along the hall, is it the same thing I'm seeing in all the mirrors?
No, as you walk through the hall, the Ethidwe's in the mirror gets somewhat out of sync. So it's almost like the Ethidwe's in the mirror aren't keeping up with the Ethidwe in the room.
Okay. I'm gonna do.
And then when you get to the end of the room, there's no Ethidwe's in the mirror.
And then I can walk back, and what are the other wizards?
There's an Ethidwe standing behind you as you turn.
In the mirror or in
No, just standing there in the corridor of mirrors with you, and now there's two Ethidwe's in all the mirrors.
Does if this Ethidwe, if I raise my hand, does he raise his hand?
When you raise your hand, he draws a short sword and a dagger.
Does he have the look of somebody? Does he look like I would know the look in the eyes if I was going to tell you something? Does he have that look as if he's going to look like me?
Yes, and he speaks to you in your voice, which is very disconcerting. You think you're different, don't you? But you're just like me, because I'm just like you. Every choice, every step, it's all the same. You know that, don't you? Deep down, you know. And he lunges at you, so you can roll for initiative.
Crit plus 10 equals 30.
Good stuff. Which is just as well, because he rolled crit as well. But you can go first.
So my chance of a sneak it is 0. Yeah. Yeah, surely if he knows the moves,
I was trying to understand.
So he's not surprised.
he's not going to be surprised. But I will get advantage.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
I'm going to draw both hands. And a crit! On one of them. And also a crit and an 18.
Okay,
Which I can tell what the
you can. So they hit.
I should remember this. Please, someone pass me 2 pieces. Thank you. max anyway. Alright.
Take 34.
Oh. Oh, okay.
So 36 from the dice.
That's 34 from the dice.
No, if you've got max damage.
On max damage,
It's
okay.
36.
36.
6d6, right?
Yes, plus 2d4.
Plus
Oh, hang on, but adding one of them to max. So that's a 4, but I got a max anyway, so that's 41 plus another, plus, hang on, plus 5. So hang on, sorry. Take out the second dagger. That's just irrelevant. So if I go 36 plus 4 is 40, plus 5 is 45. That's my first dagger, and then what do I do for crit? Yeah, that is maximum.
So it's your maximum
Right,
damage
so whatever you
plus
roll,
rolls.
So you add to that.
Right, okay. So 45 plus.
Take 76 damage. I think you're on 8. You've got 4 hit points. And the Etherdwe, standing there with his daggers, goes, as I said, just like me, just like you. He disappears back into the mirror. Malachi!
Blame yourself.
I don't need a crit.
I love how you're like, yeah, crit.
Did you say crit?
No, it's 76.
He's out.
Yeah, 76. I don't know, somehow I'm not on 0, but I mechanically am.
No, I've got your character sheet open, and you were on 80. So
Yeah,
you're
but
on...
I took 8 damage from when he forced damage, which took me to 72.
Oh, yeah.
So now,
But you... Oh, yeah. Okay, you're on 0. You're right. I'd not updated it after you took
No,
the
that's
force
it.
damage. So Etherdwe is currently lying comatose in a wall of mirrors. Excellent. Malachi, 1 down.
one down. Your aim for the night? Sure.
I've had a really bad week.
All we know.
Malachi, you're in this weird, huge room, tiny room, cupboard, mirror. As your reflection is looking back at you from this mirror. As you look at it, it twists and it distorts, and you see yourself as a young man in the robes of the Morning Lord. You see yourself rising through the ranks as an abrogator. You see yourself going into churches and scaring poor unsuspecting priests into following the doctrines of the Morning Lord more correctly. You see yourself getting praised and promoted by the cardinal. You see yourself meeting George as a young priest, torn by faith. You watch yourself counselling George to make pilgrimage to the cathedral. Your reflection is mocking you as you stand there, and telling you that you will never ever be worthy of entering the light. Make a charisma save.
Do I get advantage?
If you have advantage on saves, you can.
Magical offense.
Doesn't seem mundane.
Yeah, it doesn't seem mundane. You can have advantage on your charisma save. The whole place doesn't have a mundane vibe. Yeah.
When
No.
you said
Oh
No!
That's all
Brutal.
That's my closing.
Eyes
Okay. You know that your temptation is to embrace the reflection in this mirror. That somehow by making peace with your past, you can find a better way to the future. And you are sure that the right thing to do is to accept this past of yours with all it entails and what it has to offer in terms of learning and understanding, in order to move forward as a better person. You are sure of that.
sensible ones.
So you, as you embrace this reflection that's there, you get one additional spell slot. Third. And you get the ability to cast Inflict Wounds once a day, as an ability, not using a spell slot. It would be a level 3. Inflict Wounds once a day, just for being here. Happy to have you. Welcome. The mirror.
What's next?
The mirror disappears, and behind the mirror, you feel this wash of energy through you with this really uneasy sense that you're not 100% sure that embracing your past was necessarily the right thing to have done. But it appears okay. Nothing immediately awful has happened. And there is now a big door standing where the mirror was. Seth.
Yeah. I will make my way to each person. The
Yeah.
first person I will
First person was peaceful. You don't do anything as you go past them at all. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. The angry dude.
So the
who's,
first first dude you come across, as you discover that you can float in the space. It's almost like flying. The gaps here don't appear to be gaps to you. You just walk across them as if they weren't there. You get to peaceful dude first. He's he appears to be completely calm and peaceful.
Oh, he's the one that
He's your first guy.
seems like he's next acting.
No, he wasn't he was literally just chilling like a villain.
I'll just nod to him.
Yeah. As you nod to him as you walk past, you get advantage on insight checks, and you hear a voice in your head. Keep your counsel. Be true to yourself, and continue.
Just that, or
No, just it's temporary. It'll be for an hour. Yeah. So the green dude is he's the guy who drained your key as you were. Okay. Okay. As
I'm going to give him the piece of trees
okay. As you head towards the blue guy, He's the calm, defensive, poised.
Yeah, I also.
Okay.
Okay.
Straight to chaotic dude. Chaotic.
Oh, wait, what was it the first dude? The purple dude?
No.
Was that the one that was the...
Angry dude's at the back. Purple dude is wisdom
Yeah.
and insight and learning. Calm, meditative dude who's ready to strike. Stunning and defensive. And
Okay, see, I
angry key dude.
I won't
Yeah. Okay. He stands on one leg and bows to you. As he doesn't move. So you get to chaotic dude, he's the red dude in front of the door, or in front of the end of the space. You going past? If you charisma save. Okay. The last figure says to you, "You were lost, but now you are whole again. You are both the light and the dark. Neither can exist without the other. Will you embrace the past and shape your future, or deny the darkness and let go of self-doubt?" Embrace the past, shape your future, deny the darkness, let go of self-doubt.
I'll embrace my past.
Okay.
I
As-
won't deny the darkness, but I'll
Okay.
There's got to be balance in that.
As you embrace the past and shape your future, you feel that the room seems to stabilise and coalesce, and these platforms coalesce into what appears to be a corridor, and the walls fall, and the glow starts to fade, and all the versions of you turn and bow, and then blank out. You gain Serenity of the Astral, which enables you to enter a meditative state in a short rest, gaining 2d6 plus 6 hit points in a chilling out period. So you get 2d6 plus 6. Whether or not you choose to use any hit dice would be extra to that on a short rest. It also gives you advantage on saving throws against frightened or being charmed for the next 24 hours. So you're attacking. Where are we? Yep. Okay. 20. Okay. I'll leave the druid there as opposed to creating a Quinny ear chimera because that's just too much trouble to do. Okay. How you roll for initiative?
Yep.
Excellent. You go first.
Why you both roll initiative? I got a standing leap, so I will run and then just leap through the air and go for a light attack.
Okay.
I will leap at this thing. It's got frog mouth.
Oh, it's got frog mouth, eagle wings, roctopus legs. It's pretty cool. Some bit of it.
Bit of everything.
Okay.
Can we roll this out? That's a 11 and a 25.
Okay. So 25 hits.
Lovely. This is that's 16 slashing.
As you slash into this creature, and Frog's jaw begins to sag open as you slash across it. You hear this sort of voice emanating out of this maw, and it's the voice of it's the voice that you heard in the Feywild before you ended up in Barovia. We thought you could do it. We thought you were the perfect choice. I knew he could. I knew she couldn't do it. Too chaotic. Not the right choice at all. Coming out of this sort of wound in this toad's throat, and what you hear back is you choose. But she just needs to choose to not be a beast. That's what that's the toad's froctopus is termed. Freegal froctopus.
Can I?
Wild shaping conference. Like this is something I've done. It's happened to me.
You think at this point you could. So going into this form, you had no control over this at all. You think you could choose. You think you could take out this creature really very easily in this form. Its roctopus legs don't move very fast. You could just rip it to pieces with your jaws. You also think you could choose not to, and you think you could choose to be Quinny in this form.
I think I will stop for a second, look back to the drawers, and then choose.
As you choose to be Quinny, the Roctoquinny, which I'm thinking is a great name for it, the Roctoquinny sort of dissolves into shadow, and the trees straighten, and this twisted dark forest starts to sprout sort of bioluminescent pink and yellow flowers up the stems, and this druid stands there, and on the face of the druid facing you is the face of the forest fae, and they turn, and on the back of the druid is the face of the water fae, almost as one being, just turning, and they go, "We knew that you were the one. Doubted, but the one." And they step aside, and the trees at the end part, and there is a wooden door. You gain a blessing, effectively from the circle of the moon itself, from the druid circle that you kind of grew up in but mainly drank your way through. You can cast Moonbeam without use of a spell slot on a long rest once a day, and you also can wild shape into fey creatures should you wish to do so. And Antoinette, the door is open at the end, and these two fae just standing there very oddly as one person, just smiling. Antoinette, there's no fire in this room apart from the fire at the end.
I don't go through the fire at the end.
That's what Blinsky says.
Are there any attachments that I could add to my body that I see in this room?
Oh, roll investigation.
Natural one.
You don't see any useful inventions in this room. These are all failures.
I grab a bit of oil. This might be able to help, and then connect it. I might be going into the fire and come back. And then I'll roll over to Blinsky, and I'll say, "Why didn't you make any more friends for me?"
Blinsky laughs and goes, all powers come with curses. I have never been able to make another, only one. And you are fun, Antoinette, and you left to be fun on your own. And that is my penance.
Is that what I'm supposed to do? Make fun?
Have a life, Antoinette. Have a life.
And life is through the fire?
Through the fire.
I'll take the bow out of my hand, and then tie it with little bunny ears, and then
Blinsky smiles and goes, have fun, Antoinette. It is fun. You're Antoinette. And disappears.
Now with my hair out, I'm ready to have fun. And I'll jump into the fire with my parasol held aloft, and float down into the flames like Princess Peach.
As you float into the flames like Princess Peach, the floor of the doll crematorium opens, and you float straight through the fire. You gain resistance to fire damage and lose your frightened of fire. You are no longer frightened of fire in the event of fire at any point, and you have permanent resistance to fire. Ethelwyn, as you lie on the floor of this hall of mirrors with your blood seeping out, and you can see yourself just the blood seeping out with a version of you standing there smiling. The you in the mirror says, you have a choice. You could choose to embrace the darkness that is within you, or you could die here. That's your choice, not mine. And starts to walk away.
Can I say anything or am I too out of
You can stay whatever you want to your mirror.
Seems like there's not much of a choice. Can I move at all?
You can't walk. You can crawl in your bloodied and weakened state on the floor if you want to.
I'll talk to the one that stabbed me. Well, I think I lost that was. But yeah, the one that I attempted to stab. So what's it to be? You represent the darkness within. What do all these represent?
You tell me, Anthony. What are you?
A 10-year-old hobbit taken out of no other 10-year-old hobbit should be doing. All I wanted was 11's that.
So, do you choose to reject our help, or do you choose let us help you. And the one that you were fighting, the evil really says, you can join us if you'd prefer, and reaches out a hand through the mirror.
Either I'm in the mirror or I'm evil. Sounds
I
like
think so. You don't need to run an insight check to know that your choice is to stay in place or to embrace your evil self through the mirror, just so that you make it clear about the decision you're making. You can join evil Etherdwe in the mirror, or choose not to join evil Etherdwe in the mirror, whatever that may result in.
but I'll die. Can I insight check the fact that I'll die?
Yeah.
I rolled an 18.
You've come very close to being dead, but you've never actually died because somebody's always rescued you from death's door at the last minute when you've really needed it. You know, Gledwyn's pulled you out of some hairy situations. That sort of guard pulled you out of the river when you nearly drowned. These guys have healed you up when you're nearly dead. You've never actually died. This is as close as you felt to it.
Do I have the strength to pull a healing potion out of my pocket and drink it? No, this is it.
You can choose to be pulled into the mirror, or you can choose to stay where you are.
Stay with to do the same as
Potentially. That would be your understanding of the tenacious hold on consciousness that you currently have and the amount of blood that's on the floor. And your thought is, I'm a really good with a dagger.
I am, but the
Yeah.
dagger's got me into trouble like too many times.
It did stab you in some vital places, yes.
The choice is
Difficult for a 10-year-old.
difficult for a 10-year-old. Part of me thinks to the evil Bethany and whether the hatred and anger I have to become evil. But honestly, despite my meager upbringing, I'm a pretty happy guy. I have great friends, I've been on great adventures. Not raising a brothel for Christ's sake. How good's that? I own my own brothel, I think.
I think you did. I think you've converted a house in
It's-
Valaki.
it's
Haunted house in Valaki.
It's under construction.
It is under construction. It's like the only business left in
I
Valaki.
think,
Yes.
do I want to throw it all in with this lot? Mentally, I feel like just giving them all the finger
Mm-hmm.
and staying very them.
Okay. You, with your dying breath, give Etherdwe in the mirror the finger. You hear the voice of Gledwyn in your head going, I've told you not to swear. You are a very naughty boy. And the floor opens and you fall through the floor into a room. And in this room are Malachi and Zephyr and Quinny and a slightly charred Antoinette. You're all in this tight cupboard. It's actually a cupboard as opposed to a room that looks like a cupboard but is huge that might not be huge. It's actually a cupboard. You are all here in this you're all on top of each other, so you're all actually there, but you're all on top of each other, in this very tiny room, lying on a bed of human skulls, with a door that opens out, and you can see a figure moving around in the shadows of the room beyond. As you're lying in this room, a very bloody Etherdwy just drops and lands somewhere between Mr. Zephyr and Malachi, just bleeding everywhere and unconscious. You can use your reaction to catch. He's very slippery.
And
Let me-
also, do I
yep.
actually remember, like, everyone?
Yes. Yeah.
Got full memories?
Yeah. You've got full memories back. Etherdwy, assuming that somebody heals you at some point, you get stealth with advantage when in dim light of any kind, and you can use your bonus action to teleport 30 feet, so long as you are teleporting into an area of darkness or dense shadow. So if you are teleporting, if the place that you would land is in darkness or deep shadow, yeah, it's stealth, exactly that, it's stealth misty step. Yep. So you can use that as a bonus action.
No, I've got
You even got a band like that. Because I can keep the room here.
That's not a feat that's in the game.
No.
There's a
No, you could if
Bespoke
you
thing.
find Misty Step, it's Misty Step, but you can only go into areas of darkness and deep shadow.
the best I can do is find the exit.
And you can do this as a reaction as part of your stealth stuff.
bonus action or reaction?
Bonus action. So you could use it instead of disengage, for example, or instead of your second attack, or instead of dash. So bonus action.
Perfect, thank you.
Enhanced stealthy movement.
I'm trying to figure out.
Well, how to heal him? I think he's got a healing potion.
Now I can't.
Yes.
I'll just He's been through a lot.
I convert the blood into their